A very warm welcome indeed. Good evening. I'm going to just turn the volume down a little bit because I'm quite excited. I've got Bert the Bulldog just behind me to my right. I'm on my travels at the moment. Not too often they let me out my office. They usually feed me Ryvitas and Kraft G slices under the door. I tell you, it's the only way I can get out. But I have escaped. Because I've come to meet a trainer, ex-trainer, and an ex-jockey. Ex-trainer and ex-jockey. Not all the trainers can make a fortune of money. It's a very hard game to make a profit, and especially these days with the poor prize money, and the jockeys the same way. If they're not riding winners all the time and can't get the rides, very hard to make a living. However, the information circuit is absolutely burning up the airwaves, and I've got news coming soon to my private clients of an ex-jockey and an ex-trainer, both over the jumps, who are really going to set up an allegiance, and they are going to absolutely milk it dry with me to guide the ship. Don't you worry about that. But I'll tell you more about that in due course, because things still to put the I's and the T's on. But big money, we're talking big money here, big money betting, big money sign-ups, big names, and I'm going to promise you something. I'm going to be big, let's put it like that, with this. Over the jump season coming up. Not quite ready yet, but it will be in the next couple of 3 months, and we'll be firing a lot of real live big bullets at the bookmakers. Can't wait to get started on that. The allegiance. Stand by your beds. 3 horses I've got for the meetings on Tuesday. 2 at Chepstow and 1 at Carlisle. 5-1, 15-2, and a 16-1 bets. All got very, very good chances. Disappointing day today. I don't often look back at races because there's not much point. If you've done your dough, you've done your dough. And if you're winning, you're winning. It's as simple as that. But today was a little bit disappointing, especially the second bet I gave you. We're on our way, it was called. It was back from 7-1 into around about 11-4. And after being slow into stride, it never got into the race. And it's one that got away. But I can assure you it's only money lent, that for sure. Not just on that horse, but on my Irish horses, because they are second to none. And over the last 2 years, I've tipped an absolute legion of winners, all at double-digit prices, and absolutely milk the bookies dry. So a little bit disappointing, but what can you do? You can't ride for them. You can't do anything for them. You can only tip them and can only tell you what I think. And what I think was that second horse really should have won today. We're on our way, but it didn't. So there's no point, over spilt milk, as they say, or whatever way you want to call it. It's one that got away. However, they don't promise to get away for too long, because on Wednesday, I'm going back into the Irish field very, very big indeed. That'll be tomorrow night on Tuesday for the meeting at Gowran. And then on Thursday, I've got Clonmel. And then on Friday, we're going in big time, really are going in big time. So this week is going to be an absolutely paradise for the Irish betting, I can tell you. I'm really looking forward to it. Friday, I've got Down Royal and Kilbeggan as well. So there's racing every day, every single day in Ireland. And I'll be marking your card on that. But tomorrow, there's not. Tomorrow, I'm concentrating on 2 meetings to begin with the letter C. 2 horses at Chepstow, 5-1 and 15-2, and 1 at Carlisle. So with no more ado, I say a little bit disappointed today. I'm not flat, just disappointed, because I expect these horses to go very close to winning. And when they don't, I've done my money, you've done yours. The only people happy about that are the bookmakers, and I really couldn't care less about them. So, we're just going to have to bear with that one, and just remember we're going to come back at them big over the next 3 or 4 days. So let's go to the 3 o'clock at Chepstow, shall we? I want to give you the first bit of the day. Remember, this is for racing on Tuesday. Number 2, Coronation Cottage. Coronation Cottage. Trained by Malcolm Saunders and ridden by Finlay Marsh. What a combination that is, eh? Sounds like a bunch of accountants, doesn't it? Marsh and Saunders. Or it could be French and Saunders. But anyway, Malcolm Saunders, he won today with a horse called Red Robin. And that come bombing along today at Chepstow. And at Chepstow tomorrow, on Tuesday, I think he can win again. He's got a horse called number 2, Coronation Cottage, ridden by Finlay Marsh. Very, very, very worthy of a punt each way, off a mark of 58, dropped £2 since its last run. That was a good run last time out at Windsor. It was a 9-horse race. It only finished 6th of 9, but only got beat about 5 lengths. And I think Coronation Cottage has got an outstanding chance in this 0 to 60 at Chepstow, running a 0 to 80 last time up. And I say Malcolm Saunders won today with Red Robin, comes bobbing along. And number 2, Coronation Cottage, can do exactly the same. It's in at 3 o'clock at Chepstow. It's my first bet of the day. Remember, this is for Tuesday's racing. If you wouldn't mind giving the thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. And, that really does help the algorithms. And if you're not quite the algorithms of the channel pushing it out, to people's timelines, so recommended for you. So remember, my information is coming to you free of charge, so it's recommended for you. So the more people put the thumbs up, the more recommended for you goes on people's timelines. That's how YouTube work it. It's all built very cleverly with supply and demand, really. If you like things, they push it out. Simple as that. And so if you wouldn't mind doing us a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. Number 7, Return Voyage, in the 4 o'clock at Chepstow, ridden by John Fahey for trainer Clive Cox. I had a real big touch on a horse not long ago, trained by Cox and ridden by Fahey. And I think this one can win as well. It's running in a handicap for the first time, stepping up in distance to 7 furlongs from 6. It's had 3 proverbial runs in non-handicaps. And I think that Return Voyage has got an outstanding chance. Been running on the all-weather, actually, 3 times it's ran. And I think that this time, going to the surface, which will suit it better, I'm all over this one. It's a very well-bred filly, very well-bred indeed, all over the place, winners in its breeding. And I think it's going to take a lot of beating off a mark of just 60. Very low mark indeed. And Clive Cox, banging form each way. That's the 4 o'clock at Chepstow. Current price 15 to 2. That looks something to bet on. It really does. And that gets my vote there. It's called Return Voyage. First time in a handicap after 3 runs on the all-weather. Reverts to turf. And could be straight in the back of the net like a rifle range. Job done. So I've got one more to give you, and then I'll be back at 6 o'clock. God willing, we'll all be back, and that's the biggest winner of them all, of course. But I'll be back tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and that will be to tell you all about this horse in Ireland, but much more. So don't forget to give me that thumbs up whenever you do, and we'll make a date for sure. But I've got a 16 to 1 chance now, which is worth a few quid each way. Number 9, it's called Mr. Cocoa Bean, and that one goes in the 650 at Carlisle. It's a big price. I think it's the outsider of the party. Trained by a very lesser known trainer called Helen Cuthbert, and ridden by a very good jockey called Kevin Stott. But Cuthbert trains it, Helen, and she's only had 1 winner in 34 runs, but this can be a second. She's only had 34 goes at the Cherry, but Kevin Stott's been booked for this off a mark of 48. It's off its lowest mark ever. And Mr. Cocoa Bean showed good signs to me last time out, when 6th of 8, that it has a very, very good chance in this sort of grade of company. Runs in a very low 0 to 60. It's Mr. Cocoa Bean, and it's in the 650 at Carlisle, and it's horse number 9 on your song sheet tonight. So there we go. 3 bets, all done and dusted in 8 minutes with Bert the Bulldog. Bert the Bulldog looking on. I know he's more of a dog man himself, more of a Hackney or a Haringey, the old Hackney and Haringey. All gone now, along with the White City. And we're not left with much more. Is Bellevue, Manchester? I'm not sure what's still there. Not sure what dog tracks are still there. Never mind. Bert's still watching, and Bert's ready for his tea now. He's going to have his tea in a bit. But I've got to meet 2 trainers going out for a glass of wine and a little bit of nibbles, some tapas. And don't mind a bit of old tapas. I think it's egg and chips, that, isn't it? Or fish and chips. Tapas.